Nutrient timing. Is it important? Is it not? How much should we be focusing on this? If we're doing 4 to 5 WODs per week, we want to lose body fat, build muscle, and crush our WODs. I'm going to go through all the details with you today on the YouTube video. Go ahead and subscribe. Click the button below if you want more information like this, if you're doing 4 to 5 WODs per week and just want free nutrition tips to help support you along the way. Today, all about nutrient timing. Now, there are two main things when I consider in terms of benefits for people that are doing 4 to 5 WODs per week if they want to implement nutrient timing. Number one, it's going to help us have consistent energy levels throughout the day and therefore more energy for our WODs. You ever get halfway into a workout and feel like you just crash? This is because you're not incorporating the right nutrient timing based principles. Number two, nutrient timing can help with body composition. Why? Because nutrient timing allows us to eat more consistently throughout the day and incorporate the right macros at the right time to burn more calories and to actually feel like we don't need to binge and restrict, feel guilty, and repeat the process. I went over this in a previous YouTube video where I talk about intermittent fasting, which I believe is terrible if you're doing 4 to 5 WODs per week, because you're eliminating the times you can restrict yourself and the times you can eat throughout the day, and then you're just eating everything at night. This is glorified binge eating, which is not good. So go back and watch that video if you want to learn a little bit more about why intermittent fasting is terrible. Nutrient timing, those are the two benefits. Now, we know the benefits of this. How do we actually incorporate it? What I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down by each macronutrient. 3 macronutrients out there that we know. Number one, protein, the most important macronutrient if you're doing CrossFit. And the second most important macronutrient if you're doing CrossFit is carbohydrates. This is our WOD energy. And then number 3, fat. This helps with hormone regulation, CNS drive, and recovery. All 3 are important. How important is timing of these 3 macronutrients? And where should we be timing them to benefit most from our workouts? I'm going to start simple and then I'm going to make it more complex. So let's start with protein. Since protein is the most important macro, the reason is because protein literally is what our muscles are made up of. And we need to make sure we have enough of it to fuel our WODs, but mostly recover from our WODs and make sure we keep the strength and muscle that we have. And so how important is protein when it comes to nutrient timing around our training, around our daily life and schedule? Protein is important for nutrient timing, but more importantly, it's really getting in the total protein quantity. So when I have our CrossFitters in our program focus on protein, the number one priority is getting in the total protein quantity throughout the day. Second is using nutrient timing as a strategy to hit our protein goal. Now, where is protein most effective? I would say protein is most effective post-workout. We want to recover from the WOD that we just did, and we have this increased absorption, especially with the combination of carbohydrates, to get in protein. This is why most of us take in a post-workout protein shake and something that gets digestion and absorbed directly into our system quickly. So drink a protein source or protein powder right after your workout. Very simple. Otherwise, you want to position protein throughout the day in a strategic way to make sure you're eating consistently, where you don't have to try to make up your protein goal later in the day because you didn't eat protein enough during the morning, lunchtime, etc. Right? So protein timing is as important as it is to hit your actual protein goal throughout the day. Now, if we're not hitting our protein goal throughout the day, it's likely because we're not incorporating enough meals or enough stacks throughout the day to hit our protein goal. If you want our free AI blueprint, that'll show you the exact amount of protein you need for your goals and how to time it throughout the day, go ahead, DM me on Instagram the word AI, and I will send it to you for free. So protein, very simple. You just need to hit it throughout the day. It's very hard to hit your total protein quantity if you don't have multiple meals or you intermittent fast. So make sure from the onset of waking up, we're starting to get in some protein, and don't forget that post-workout protein shake. Number 2, carbohydrates. How important are carbohydrates when it comes to nutrient timing? They're actually very important. Carbohydrates are our WOD energy, and so we can utilize this as a tool to better be able to provide the energy we need for our workouts. And so when it comes to carbohydrates, we need to make sure we're getting enough throughout the day to not support fat gain, but support the WODs that we're doing. In addition to that, timing is important because we can actually use it as a tool to be able to incorporate around our workout for maximal benefit. So where are carbs most important? Around our workout. They digest quickly, especially the right sources, and allow us to give us that quick bump up in energy that we might need. The way this works is carbohydrates are converted into a more complex glycogen. Glycogen is basically carbohydrates stored in the muscle. When we start an AMRAP or a workout, this is the first source that our body goes to for energy, glycogen. And so to make sure we have enough of it, we need to make sure we're eating enough carbs. So there's 3 different places I recommend to make sure you're getting in enough carbohydrates to fuel your WODs. Utilize this nutrient timing strategy to make sure that you don't crash in your workouts. Number 1, pre-workout carbohydrates. I recommend 30 to 40 grams for women and 60 to 80 grams for men. These pre-workout carbohydrates really give us a bump up in restoring overall glycogen storage to make sure we can push further in the workouts that we're doing. If you want our Carbs 101 guide, DM me the word carbs on Instagram. I'll send it to you for free. Number 2, carbohydrates are also important intra-workout. Now this is an advanced tip, but it can be utilized for people that are usually working out beyond the 1 hour class period. So if you're working out an hour and a half, maybe you do some extra strength training, or you do extra programming after because you're a competitor, you're a quarterfinal, semifinal games athlete, you're gonna wanna incorporate intra-workout carbohydrates. Now, this is timed specifically in your workout, which is why nutrient timing is very important for carbohydrates. Now, in order to incorporate intra-workout carbs, we're not gonna slug down pasta or some random carbohydrate in the middle of a workout. But in between our actual strength piece and some of our other metcons that we might be doing, we need to incorporate intra-workout carb sources. Now, these need to be easily digestible carbs. White bread and jelly, dates, honey, powdered carbohydrates like carbolin or waxy maize. These are things that we can use and typically work really well in the intra-workout carb time frame. And it's going to give you that extra boost to get through your entirety of your session. Keep in mind, you don't need intra-workout carbohydrates if you're just doing a little bit of strength and then a metcon. It's not absolutely necessary, but try it out and see if it benefits you. Third, post-workout carbs. I mentioned this a little bit in the protein, but what helps our muscles recover really well and make sure that we can start resynthesizing muscle tissue and make sure we don't lose muscle is protein, but carbohydrates actually help the uptake of protein muscle synthesis, which is awesome for muscle gain and muscle preservation. So you're gonna wanna incorporate protein and carbs post-workout. What I typically like to do is have a liquid carb source, usually 30 to 40 for women, 60 to 80 for men. Incorporate this with your protein shake. You could use a carbolin or waxy maize powder, Fuel 5 from X Endurance, or a Gatorade. Works like wonders. This is going to help you recover from the session that you actually just did so that you can feel better the next day. Pre-workout carbohydrates help you for the workout session you're fixing to do. Intra-workout carbohydrates help you for the actual session you're doing, everything after, and then post-workout carbohydrates help you recover from the session you did to get ready for the next session. So that's carbohydrates. Lastly, fat. How important is fat nutrient timing wise? Now, there's 2 caveats to this. It doesn't really matter when you get in your fat calories. It's pretty similar to protein. However, we do want to avoid high fat foods and eating a lot of fat in general around our workout time. Fat digests and absorbs very slowly, and we're going to want to uptake as much nutrients as possible and as quickly as possible around our workout. Fat also can be a stomach and GI disruptor because it digests and absorbs so slowly. Remember, when you're working out, your body is trying to help recover and your digestive system is not working as functional as it usually is. Blood is actually going to working muscle tissue to help you recover. So fat instead is not digesting properly. Your body's not going to utilize it anyway. And for hormone and CNS regulation, we don't need to take in fat at a specific time. I personally like fat in the morning and at night away from my workout time where I can have and incorporate those fat calories to make sure that I'm getting enough and just making sure that I'm just recovering and getting the total quantity of calories that I need. right? So don't have a lot of fat pre-workout, intra-workout, post-workout. So for example, don't have a peanut butter sandwich before you work out. It's not the smartest thing to do. Those are some nutrient timing tips that I have for you guys around your workout. Nutrient timing is important, but hitting the total calories is the most, especially for protein, and you can do it all without tracking macros. If you click the link below, you can book a free call with me. I'll open up my schedule for us to chat about your goals so that you can lose body fat, build muscle, crush your WODs without tracking macros. See you guys soon. Peace out.